Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalrin, and in today's video I want to do a commentary talking about rogues and the question whether Blizzard has ruined rogues for Warlords of Draenor or not. First of all, I want to establish that rogues have been in one of the best spots I've ever seen, and the only times I've seen rogues play were Cataclysm, which they were awesome at, Pandaria, where they had a rough start but then developed into a much better class overall, very viable within arenas and competitive scene, and then Draenor, where rogues have been pretty much dominating. It's the highest possible potential that I've ever seen. And that discounts Wrath and BC, for which I obviously didn't play for, and Cataclysm to an extent because I didn't play Rogue at the time. I played a Resto Druid / Boomkin. Anyway, I want to talk about rogues and pretty much how they have been with Warlords of Draenor. The question is, did Blizzard ruin rogues at all? First of all, have fun with rogues. Have a blast with them. They're awesome. I love my Combat Rogue. I have more fun playing Combat Rogue now. I actually would say I had the same amount of fun as I did back in MOP, it's just I'm even more viable than I used to be. So, with all that set in stone, the issues that have been with rogues is, in 6.1, Combat Rogue's burst damage was unpeelable, and people didn't like it. Combat Rogue ended up being pretty much the easy spec, the flavor of the month, and I didn't take advantage of that. I didn't go get the possible highest rating in the world, first of all, because I wasn't really focusing on getting that, though probably should have. Taking advantage of it. But yes, it was, and I do agree with people that it was really an easy spec to play. With the nerf to Killing Spree, it did balance out the rogue spec out. So now Subtlety and Combat both can be CC'd within their burst, within one of the huge main components of burst. The difference being Subtlety has 1 minute burst, Combat has 2, with a reduction potential to it. But now the question I feel like is, did 6.2 fix rogues at all? Did it make him any more fair? A lot of buffs happened to Assassination, much needed buffs, right? Envenom and Mutilate gave him a little bit more pressure and sustained damage, and with gear getting added, the Conquest gear, there's a lot more mastery to the game itself, meaning that there's just a lot more Assassination rogues can do in terms of damage. In terms of just clean, straight up damage is what I'm trying to say. But then the issue came out with, after just playing some arenas with Tyrga, playing 2v2 comps, Assassin Healer is one of the hardest comps that we've ever faced. The problem with it being, Assassination rogues have unpeelable burst, which is a lot similar to what Combat rogues had in 6.1. On top of it, this one is kind of hard to pinpoint at, but the burst that Assassination rogues have seems to be a little bit stronger than Combat's, if not equally the same. But the main difference is, besides being unpeelable and powerful, pretty much a one-shot mechanic, all to none kind of health reduction, the burst deals in a huge chunk of 200k, while Combat's burst at least broke it down into 7 different hits. So it's a question, I guess there's no really answer to this question. I guess I'm trying to figure out you guys' thought process on this phenomena, the rogue overpowered phenomena. And I am gonna call it overpowered, not an extent like, oh, let's go nerf rogues. It just rogues in such a good spot, and it's like second patch in a row, second season in a row. It's just they switch from one spec of Combat to Assassination. When you think of Assassination, how do you line up burst? You score a stun to get prey in the weak, although not always necessary. Cross CC isn't too difficult to line up. You Vendetta, have 5 combo points to your target, or use Mark for Death in order to get those 5 combo points, and then Death from above. There's not a lot of abilities to stop Death from above, but they're literally the same abilities that will stop a Killing Spree. Killing Spree was at least somewhat CCable at the very end of it with a Gouge, but Death from above is not, which provides a full definite hit as Death from above hits. There's maybe like a small window where you can gouge or blind Death from above, but I've tried it multiple times in arenas, in realistic situations when it was just do or die kind of deal, and I could not land the CC needed, the gouge or the blind or even a stun. And it's somewhat difficult to dodge, especially if you don't have a trinket, as it can hit you from above 100k up to 200k, and it's going to scale only higher with better gear that everybody gets, as everybody's getting better arena gear. So this is something I want to bring you guys into the picture, and this is something that most of you will see within everyday arenas and everyday BGs. A lot of you guys, I understand this. Right now, Subtlety is the highest rated arena. This is the highest rated arena spec to play for rogues, hands down. Subtlety is probably your best option. There is Assassination, there is Combat, which are doing really well in arenas as well, but Subtlety right now is at the top of the ladder, thanks to Peekaboo. Now the question about it, I feel like it's just a lot of people just got used to playing Subtlety and really wanted to play Subtlety for the longest time, and 6.2 makes it very much possible, which I'm happy to see, and I'm happy to hear that Subtlety is doing as well as it does. I'm hands down really happy, seeing this kind of progress. I wanted Subtlety to come back. I think it's a great spec, and has a lot of value to it. It has a lot of potential to it, and we've seen it right now as the highest rated players are, you know, making work off this spec. They're really making it happen, which is great again. But I guess the question right now is, most people are not going to face into that higher rated arenas, you know, 2500 and above. Not many people are going to be in RBGs that are the highest possible rating. Most of your everyday community is playing around 1500 MMR or lower and running random battlegrounds, with assassination rogues kind of being just all over the place. With increasing potential for gear later down the line, is assassination going to become the combat of 6.2? Or is everything fine but it's just balancing out? It's just, I just want to get you guys' thoughts on it. Because I feel like Blizzard has done, you know, weird things sometimes in the game, and they have really given a lot of love to rogues, which I don't want to deny. It's a lot of love and it's great. You know, I'm happy about it to play a rogue. It's probably one of the best moments to play a rogue, one of the best times to be playing a rogue. It's just the question is it maybe too much? And I don't know. I feel like the way subtlety is right now, currently, I feel like it's great. I feel like where combat is at, with his burst being able to be reduced, or CC'd with killing spree, I think it's fair. Completely understandable. I mean, at first I was thinking, you know, taking away 8-second stun was like, maybe a little much, because that's, you know, what the spec was all about. But completely understandable why they did it. It's just, it was too strong for the gameplay. It was just too easy to line up damage. It was too easy to line up a kill. Completely understandable, and the game is always going to evolve, and they need to, you know, make changes to the ever-evolving game World of Warcraft, especially in the PvP community. I'm completely happy with the changes they make for PvP. I'm happy that they make changes in general. So, you know, there's nothing I could be, you know, upset about whatsoever. But what are you guys' thoughts about it? Is Assassination going to become the combat of 6.2? Or are all the specs pretty balanced, and, you know, Assassination is just gonna balance everybody out? Eventually down the line, as combat and subtlety all get their, you know, arena gear. What are your thoughts about it? Is maybe Blizzard ruined rogues? I don't know. I don't think so. But what do you guys think? That's the big question. What does the community think? What do the viewers think? Thank you guys for watching. My name is Dalaran. Happy 10k subscribers. We're making a special video on that. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video.